Hey students, on ice staff, and alumni. I hope everybody's doing good right now during these interesting times. I hope everybody is safe and doing well. I share my blessings to all of you out there. My name is Nelson Tagoona and I'm from Baker Lake, Nunavut. I am known as a throat boxer, and through my journey I was also known as a motivational speaker as well. So the first question that I'm going to ask is, what is throat boxing? So throat boxing is the mix between traditional Inuit throat singing and beatboxing. So traditional Inuit throat singing, from what I was taught growing up, was to best describe throat singing for me is it was primarily done by a female or a mother, and in the beginning it was used to soothe the baby in the amautik, which is kind of like an outfit with a pouch on the back to hold the baby. And it was done during long waits and migrations to soothe the baby. And then through time it became a competition as well, where two females would do it and they would bounce off each other in synchronicity, and they would speed up faster and faster and faster until one of them makes a mistake or starts laughing. Now, what is beatboxing? So beatboxing is vocal percussion. It's making sounds with your mouth. So like, and then if you listen to throat singing, it'll be up, 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 and then you'll have another female bouncing off of that up, 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 and they would speed up real fast. Now, I've heard a lot of different songs and a lot of different versions of it, because what they're really doing is they're emulating sounds of the land or sounds that you hear up north, like the wind, the animals and such, and they're making something out of that. So what I did was I actually grabbed that and I made it my own, and I actually didn't coin the phrase throat boxing. It was actually a man named Stephen Lafleur from the Canadian Floor Masters, who also worked with, who also founded a group called Blueprint for Life, and they're the ones who founded that. Though I started my own version of throat boxing on my own in the very beginning. And here, I'll just show you guys what it is in another clip, and we're getting to that in 3, 2, 1. So you might be wondering, how did I get into this? So when I was younger, I actually didn't think I would be doing this at all. Because my primary instrument, my forte, was in playing the guitar, and the guitar was really my main passion, and beatboxing was just a side thing that I did. And there was a talent show in Baker Lake and this was back in I think 2009. I've been doing this for approximately 10 years now. But it was in 2009, and I did it because I wanted to win the prize so I could buy more instruments and stuff. But I went to the competition, and then I started playing guitar and beatboxing at the same time. And then after the show, one of the judges told me, we wanted to give you first place, but you didn't include any of your culture into the performance, so we had to give you second. And that's when I thought, I need to add some of my culture, but how? And then I figured like throat singing would be the perfect thing because it's so dynamic and it's so flexible that I should try and give it a shot. But because throat singing is primarily done by a female, I was afraid of being judged or put down because I'm doing something that is out of what Inuit are accustomed to. And I was very shy. When I was younger, I was a very shy kid. I kind of considered myself like the black sheep of the group. And it's funny that I made it this far in my career being, seeing myself that way when I was younger. But the trick is I believed in myself and I overcame those issues that I was facing. So I would practice in my bedroom all alone, and I'm very, very shy. And then through the years, I started to build more and start to develop my own style. And it wasn't between 3 and 5 years. It actually took me a while, between 3 and 5 years, to actually develop confidence in doing this on stage and trying new things on stage without being afraid of being put down or being laughed at. And I'm actually very amazed with the results that I've had through the years because it really created a path for me. And it's, others have said I'm quite the trailblazer because I faced the barriers that society put in front of us, and I broke through them, and I created my own path and started making a living off of it very, very confidently and very comfortably. And I just never stopped believing in myself the whole entire time. So throughout the years I've developed many different sounds, and I'll share a few of my favorite sounds with you that I learned throughout the years, and some are as recent as within this last year that I had learned. So I hope you guys enjoy these sounds. Let's get into learning some of these sounds. I'm going to teach you guys the basic sounds right now. So when you think of a drum kit, you have the kick drum, you have the hi-hat, you have the snare. You also have cymbals and the toms, the floor tom and stuff. But I'm going to stick to the bass, the hi-hat, and the snare, and then we'll go from there. So with the basic beat, you'll hear. So to build on that, you got to start with your foundation. So let's start with the kick drum. You have the bass. The way this is done is you're compressing the air in your mouth and you're releasing it all at once. So if I compress the air and release, you're squeezing and you're making the sounds with your lips. Now what you hear on the microphone is just a little bit of reverb. But the kick drum will go. Now let's move to the hi-hat. It's like TS. It's the same idea where you're compressing air and then you're going into the T formation. T, T, T. Your tongue closes off on the palate of your mouth. T, 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 t. But instead of saying T, you're saying and then another form of the hi-hat would be ticka, 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 tss, ticka, ticka, tss, ticka, 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 tss, ticka, tss, ticka, tss, ticka, tss. Now let's move to the snare. It's similar to the kick drum, and it's more challenging to do. It actually took me a little longer to learn this technique because one of the earlier beats that I had learned was Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. It goes. So the first version of the snare that I learned, I would just squeeze the air a little tighter and make my lips a little tighter and release. Now, if this is your first time doing this, it may take a little while for you to get familiar with the feeling of doing these sounds. And you build what is called muscle memory. After you start to develop some muscle memory, then you'll be able to make these sounds a lot more fluently, or make things feel a lot easier for you. So if you go, now let's work on the snare. If you release the air and then go into that, as if you're saying fun. You're going from a P to an F sound immediately. Okay, so let's break down these sounds a little into a beat. So when I say pish, it just means I'm doing the snare sound. And then when I say boom, it just means the kick sound. Boom, ticka, pish, ticka, boom, ticka, pish, ticka, boom, ticka, pish. Boom, ticka, pish, ticka, boom, ticka, ticka. Now with another hi-hat. Tika, ka tika, buka tika, pishka tika, buka tika, pishka tika, buka tika, pishka tika, buka tika, buka tika, buka tika, buka digga, pika digga, buka digga, pika digga, buka digga, pika digga, buka digga, pi. Now, to really develop a faster style, I started creating words, so I could go skavada boom, skavada boom, skavada boom. Now if I go boogada digga gum, digga digga gum, boogada digga pish, digga digga pish. Digga push, digga pish, digga boom, digga pish, digga boom, digga boom, digga pish, digga pish, digga boom, digga pish. Now, if you ask, is there a special technique that I use to teach beatboxing? I'll tell you that the best way to learn and develop your craft as a beatboxer is, in my opinion, to turn them into words. So like, boogada boogada pish, boogada boogada pish, boogada boogada pish, digada boogada boogada pish, boogada boogada pish, Diggada boogada boogada pish. Diggada. When you hear a beat going real fast like that, try to imagine them talking instead. Boom ticka pish, ticka ticka pish, ticka ticka boom ticka pish. And I mean that, like, say if you're looking up other beatboxers online, because there are a lot of resources online. If you just look onto YouTube for other beatboxers, you know, there's the originals, like you say Rozelle, who is very well known as original in the hip hop scene, or you could come up with, or you could find new beatboxers like D-Lo or Tom Zacher or Beat Art. These guys are actually pretty good, and they're actually leading the scene right now. And they're really, 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 really good. And I guess to close this off, or let's keep this going. I'll teach you one more song actually. So if you say bug with a very high pitched and you compress your lips together, you should go. It's like going. But if you squeeze the air and compress it with more tension, it should go. And then there's another sound that you could do, which is actually a growl bass, where you. How do I describe the growl bass? Because this is what the growl bass will sound like. So when I was learning this sound, it was very difficult for me, and you got to be careful because you could really hurt your voice doing this if you're not, I guess, pacing your process and you're not taking it easy on yourself. So I advise you guys to be careful if you're gonna try and develop new styles, and try not to rush and take your time. Do it at your own speed so you don't risk hurting your vocal cords. So the growl bass is like going. It's like squeezing deeper down in your throat and trying yeah. So that was the growl bass. Another sound that you could take is the inward K snare. Say, this is the inward K. I use it a lot in bass when I go. Now the inward K, imagine you're saying T, but instead of exhaling, you're breathing in and you're releasing the side of your tongue. When I first started doing this, I would use both sides of my tongue. So imagine like there's the top of your mouth and the little in your tongue goes on the palate, and it seals out your mouth. And then you release the side while breathing in. Now, as I said earlier, you have to develop muscle memory before you could start really expanding and trying new things with this. And just take your time, be patient, and be good to yourself while you're doing this. Don't be hard on yourself while you're doing this. I think it's one of the most important, most fundamental sounds to a beatboxer, because it's used in a variety of styles of beatboxing. It's one of those essential sounds that you need to really develop yourself as a vocal percussionist, as a beatboxer. So I could go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now let's take it to another explorational jam for you guys on 3, 2, 1. From the beginning of my performance career, I always believed that it's important for me to share something positive. Kind of like I remember calling it back in like 2014. I called it leaving my positive pawprint on a community, and by that I mean like you leave an imprint if you really do your best and you really try to push this energy and push kind of like an uplifted perspective on life. Sometimes you leave a mark in some people, and that was always my goal when teaching workshops. And I remember when I was about 18 years old, even 16, I would always do my best when I'm coming up. I wasn't even sure if I was doing it properly, but really I didn't care, because all I cared about was really uplifting the entire group. Like say, I don't know what each student is going through at home, and I feel like it was my job to try and shed some sun or give them some sunshine into their lives, because in my life, from my experiences, when I was going through hard times, I had some bright experiences, and I took the energy from those experiences home from me, and I carried that energy with me, and it helped me get through some of the toughest days that I've been through in my life. And I really took that and I really used that to my advantage, because it made me feel good to share this energy with others. So, it's important for me to, aside from teaching these beats and teaching like say hip hop culture, or teaching the basics of certain instruments or music, it was always important for me to see above that, or try to see a bigger picture and try to give positive energy and a positive, just to share a positive outlook on life, so people could carry that energy with them throughout their trails through life. So I think the fact that I mix traditional throat singing into what I do makes it more grounding for a lot of Inuit, because they know what throat singing is, because it's where we come from. As Inuit, when we're say like growing up, I didn't have many resources when I was younger, and the resources that I wish I had. You know, there wasn't as many programs at school, and especially with like social work and seeing counselors and stuff, they didn't really meet the demand that I think a lot of communities needed. You know, so music was my outlet for me, and it helped me really grow as an artist, and it helped me really broaden my perspective on life, because I would have a really hard time coping with being around people or just living my everyday life. But through music, it gave me the confidence to stand up in front of crowds of people, and especially after feeling that nervous energy and then going up on stage and then expressing all that energy with the audience and getting a positive return from the audience, and then going off stage and after the show and just signing autographs and, you know, having fans come up and feel honored to meet me, you know, that was really, really encouraging for me, you know. So though I did make impact on some people's lives through my work, it was more impactful for me because it really helped me carry on through these very tough times. And that's what I really want to give to that's what I really wanted to give to the youth throughout all my workshops. And now today I'm not as motivated to work with youth exactly. I'm more like, right now I'm focused on being a parent. I'm a dad and I have a daughter and a beautiful spouse. But you know, I guess that's my life right now, and especially during this quarantine. But I think the most important part for me in my journey is really sharing that strong energy with audiences and in my workshops, and, you know, incorporating more than just I guess beatbox theory, if I use that term for the lack of a better term, and really sharing this energy. It's a healing energy, you know. It's a very inclusive energy, and making everybody feel that energy of unity, you know, bringing everybody together and making everybody feel good. And even if it's online, you know, even if it's done online, I think there's still a connection there, like through this, with what Students on Ice is doing for us. There's this good energy that we share. And, you know, this is my time to say thank you to Students on Ice for letting me, allowing me to share this with all of you guys, all of your viewers. You know, I think it's important, you know, for me. And outside of this healing aspect, with Throatboxing, it's been very beneficial for me, because first I faced my anxieties, and I did something that primarily a female does, and then I mixed beatboxing into it, and I started taking it and making it my own. And then after making it my own, then I'm inspiring the youth to carry on with some females. They started to throat sing, and they want to learn how to throat sing, because they saw how when I'm like throat boxing, sometimes I'd have a partner and it's as if I'm throat singing and with them, like say if I'm up, or you know, and we're really just giving it on stage, and it inspired youth to want to look into their culture and learn more about this culture. I know I added a little twist to it, but it inspires those to look at the background of where it comes from, you know. And to me that's very motivational, and it's very uplifting for me. It's a very healing thing for me. It means a lot to me to be able to do this and have this opportunity to share such a unique thing with the world, you know, and especially with leaving a positive imprint on people. It's very, 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 very healing for me, and it's very uplifting. It gives me a lot of confidence and a lot of strength to be able to have the experiences that I do as an artist from the North. What I have in front of me is the VE20 vocal processor. It allows me to modulate and add effects to my voice as well as loop. So with this, I created a version of a traditional Inuit throat song called The Love Song. Check this out. So I was actually on the Arctic expedition in 2017, and that was such an amazing experience. It was so amazing. It's one of the highlights of my music career, and I've done a lot in my music career, and that one stands out by far. It was so inspiring to be able to go onto the ocean endeavor and see the land in areas that I've never thought I'd ever see. And it's amazing to see all these youth really shine and really grow within such a short amount of time because of the amount of information that is taught to us, and what we're given, all the programs, and how amazingly organized Students on Ice is. It's so amazing. I put my hat off to you guys. It's so amazing. All the staff, you guys are amazing. And I guess this is a point where I should say thanks to Jeff Green. He does an amazing job, and he's done such an amazing job throughout all these years with Students on Ice. It's so amazing. There are things about my own culture that I didn't even knew existed on the ocean endeavor. And did you know the Arctic Tern has a circle migration path of up to 30,000 kilometers? I had no idea. That was there's so much to Students on Ice. It blew my mind. It completely blew my mind, and I'm very fortunate to have had that experience. And one of the things that I really liked about Students on Ice is we're meeting people from all over the world, and we're all together on a ship, and it gives us it's different from all the other projects that I had and all the other workshops that I taught, because you spend so much time with so many individuals who are hungry to learn, and through that time every day you could work with other people and really grow with them through that short amount of time. Musically, for me, it was so interesting to be able to share with different cultures and people from all across the world, and network with so many people, because Students on Ice had actually granted me opportunities after, just from the way I had just from the network that I had developed while on that ship, and I'm really grateful to have been able to go to Greenland for the first time, thanks to this amazing opportunity. And I'm lost for words, because on the ship, I didn't even know about Lancaster Sound or Clap Sound, or I didn't know about so many species that actually existed in the north. And I got to meet folks who had achieved such great feats in their life. And there's so much on Students on Ice. If there's anybody who is going to see this, I don't know if there's only alumni, but if you're given the opportunity, I recommend you take it. I'm very, very grateful to have taken it. I actually keep this. I still keep this, and this is something I'm going to carry throughout my journey, because this is one of the highlights of my career. It means a lot to me to have gone onto Students on Ice, and I think it was really neat because, like I said, there was this one day where I worked with a few select youth on a performance, and the performance was amazing. Some of these younger guys had taught me certain things that I could do in my shows, and I actually do that fairly often in my shows now, and I give them my gratitude for this. I'm very, very, very thankful to have had this opportunity. I just take my hat off for this. It's very good, and it really teaches me how to be proud of and appreciate the opportunities that I've had. And I think Students on Ice, I've heard of it for a long time, and I was so blessed to have had this opportunity. I remember getting the call from one of the staff members, and my jaw dropped when I found out that I'm going to be going on to the Ocean Endeavor and going to be able to see areas of Nunavut that I never thought I'd ever see, and be able to experience being on a ship crossing the Davis Strait from Nunavut to Greenland. You know, it's so amazing. And seeing Greenlandic culture, it's interesting to see the difference between Nunavut and Greenland, the Inuit. The difference is like, it is so interesting. It is so interesting. You know, so if I was ever given the opportunity, I'd probably go again. You know, but for now, I'm a full-time daddy. So I'm about to wrap my time up with you guys very soon. But you know, throughout my career, I've seen so much in my life, and I can't tell you what is next now, because for now, I'm raising my daughter. But who knows? I might take my daughter on the road with me. You know, there's so many opportunities that I haven't seen yet, and it's all about just believing in your capabilities and really trying your best to see through everything and try to work things out so you could grow, you know, in what it is that you're passionate about. And I don't think this is the end of the road for me. I think there's so many more opportunities that I could have, and I'd like to really grow. Like, unfortunately, like, I'm not as passionate about teaching workshops as I used to be, but I'm more passionate about performing, strictly performing, and I'd really like to take my daughter on the road with me eventually, you know. And it all depends on your drive and how much you believe in yourself and what you believe you're capable of. I think there is an unlimited amount of opportunities as long as you set your mind to it and believe in it, and, you know, say like, don't stop even after your first failure. If you try something and it doesn't pan out right, you know, keep trying again and again and again and again and again and again. Never stop believing in yourself, and just keep going through no matter what it is that you face, you know, because there's so many opportunities out there, and there's so many highlights within the journey that you are yet to see, you know. So it's all just a matter of believing in yourself. So, Mayan Symphony, I'm closing it out, and I'm going to close you out with one last performance. Thank you guys so very much.
to give a big thank you to all of you for joining me for me it's this evening, in this jam, and listening to what I have to say. I really appreciate it. I want to give a big thank you to Jeff Green and all the other staff with Students on Ice, and all the delegates, and everybody else who's involved with Students on Ice. You guys are tomorrow's future, and it really means a lot to me to be a part of the family with you guys. Thank you guys very much, and I hope you guys have a really, really good year. Make the best of it. Thank you guys so much again and again. My name is Nelson Tagoona. Thank you so much. Peace.